Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jongo. Hello, baby. Hello. Hey. Alright, so hello. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay, I just want to discuss with you. Hi, baby. Hello. Just want to discuss with you. Hello, Sunny. Okay, come, baby. Come, Sunny. Come, baby. Alright, come here. Oh, okay, good. Alright, so cool. Alright, okay. Come, baby. Alright. Oh, wow. Okay, so come. Okay, so. Okay, yeah. Alright, okay, bye. Okay, so. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I just want to discuss with you the trial of Derick Shauvin, okay? The trial of Derick Shauvin. This was a very interesting trial. I think it caught the world attention. So, baby, hello. Sorry, baby. So, this. I think that will go on for some time. After some time. So this trial, I think, was very heartbreaking. We could see people breaking down emotionally in the trial, during the trial process. We could see witnesses testifying. It was heavy on the heart. So I just want to add the scientific perspective of it, especially on the argument that Dr. Toby brought forth in response to the proposition that George Floyd could have died of carbon monoxide poisoning. I think for those that did not follow the trial very well, Dr. Fowler suggested that because George Floyd's head was very close to the exhaust pipes of the responding squad car, therefore he could have inhaled enough carbon monoxide fumes to cause him to die. So, in counter-argument or in the rebuttal, the prosecution argued that there was no possibility that George Floyd could have died from carbon monoxide because his oxygen saturation was 98%. All right? Now, that's exactly why I'm interested. Okay? All right. I think this argument that was made by Dr. Toby probably can raise some more questions as to how to reconcile the idea that George Floyd died of asphyxia. At the same time, he had 98% oxygen saturation. This idea does not really make sense in the context of the circumstances, because asphyxia, I think, is generally understood in the medical field that is associated with very low oxygen saturations in the blood, because the patient tends to be hypoxic, okay, in asphyxia. So we don't expect to have normal oxygen saturation of 98%, because 95 to 900 is usually normal for most people. So there should be an explanation as to why oxygen saturation was 98%. We don't leave things to speculation the way the prosecution did in this case. They left it hanging like that to say there was oxygen saturation of 98% in the presence of asphyxia. So, at which point was the casualty given oxygen to go to that percentage of 98%? So, a lot of theories can come up. I think 3 of them that I would like to present here are as follows. Okay, the first theory that is most likely the most plausible one, and maybe that was the case, it could be that George Floyd had asphyxia while in the prone restrained position, and once he was taken onto an ambulance, he was given high flow oxygen. Okay, that led to elevation of arterial oxygen to 98%. Therefore, when tested at the hospital, he was found to have 98% in spite of having had asphyxia in the first place. So this would be theory A, okay? But this was not mentioned by the prosecution. It wasn't at any point attributed. It wasn't at any point said to be the reason why oxygen was that high. And theory B would be George Floyd had carbon monoxide poisoning and was taken onto an ambulance and given oxygen concentration, which was a high dose. Okay, he was given a high dose oxygen. Therefore, he had high oxygen saturation when he was tested at the hospital. Now, this would also give room for an argument to say, okay, how does carbon monoxide and oxygen compete on the hemoglobin? Is it possible that once he had carbon monoxide poisoning and was given oxygen, is it true that we are likely to see oxygen saturation going to 98%, given the fact that carbon monoxide has very high affinity for hemoglobin? It tends to bind more favorably than oxygen on the hemoglobin molecule. So could this explain the high blood oxygen concentration? Could it be true? Okay. Therefore, this could give room for Dr. Fowler's theory to be sustained. And then third theory would be, okay, perhaps there was no asphyxia at all when George Floyd was on the ground in a prone restrained position. Probably he didn't have asphyxia. There are other factors that led up to his passing out. Probably he had an independent cardiac arrest for some other reasons, and then he passed out, and therefore he had normal oxygen saturation while he's on the ground. Then he was taken onto an ambulance with normal oxygen saturation, and it was tested at the hospital, and it was normal. Okay, therefore, if this is true, therefore asphyxia falls out. It's basically ruled out, because we do not expect. Hello, baby. We do not expect to have normal oxygen saturation when a patient or a casualty is asphyxic. We do not expect normal oxygen saturation. So this argument, I think, or rather these arguments, need to be dispelled by the prosecution. They should make it clear as to why oxygen saturation was at 98%, and at the same time the casualty was diagnosed with asphyxia, which is associated with low oxygen concentration. I think basically this is the part that I wanted us to discuss. This video is not anti-George Floyd, neither is it pro-Derick Shauvin. It's meant to dispel any doubts. It's meant to clarify issues. Scientifically, they have to make sense. We know for sure that justice was served, and it's quite consoling to the family that finally George Floyd did not die in vain. Okay, it's a consolation that finally justice was served. It's also a letdown, on the other hand, to see a police officer going to jail, because we do not expect the police officers to break the law, because they're the ones that are entrusted in protecting the citizens. So we look forward to the prosecution to provide good explanation so that all the doubts are cleared surrounding this case. Thank you very much. God bless. Thanks.